Hi, my name is Michael, you can call me MBL Designs, and I'm here with the Swedish AFOL show at Lego World 2019 in Stockholm, Sweden. So this is the first time we have Lego World here in Stockholm and in Sweden overall, and we're going to take a look here at the fan zone with all of the fan creations that a lot of people have then built. So I have a few visitors from Scandinavian countries such as Finland, Denmark and Norway, but we also have several builders from Svebrick, which is the Lego users group mainly here in Sweden. So right here we have a model called Inside the Wall, which is a post-apocalyptic world. So this is behind the wall, so this is more of the utopia that the people have created in this apocalypse. So we can see a few things that were inspired by Blade Runner. We can just see the architecture, that it has some Asian designs and just the overgrowth of nature. And you also see on the building right here you have some turning pieces as well, some mechanisms there. And just overall, this is what the humankind have been able to achieve throughout the apocalypse that they've been living through. And continuing over here to the actual wall, we see on the other side of the wall the actual apocalypse that they are living in. And you can see how there's like the road is completely destroyed, there's craters in the ground, and this tank trying to get through all of the wasteland that we see here. So here we have a model called Steam City, which is, I'd say, somewhat inspired of steampunk. We have some Victorian age buildings, and as you can see, it's a completed city basically. So I have some tunnels here with some mountain work. We have some buildings over here, which are, most of all, we've actually seen some of them have really nice interiors and stuff like that. We have some generators in one of the buildings right here, and a lot of moving parts. So we have like a mining facility here where they have moving mine carts, and yeah, it's a really cool build, and it's an era that we don't see much of. This like more Victorian age inspired building, which is really cool. Going over here we have some classic space sets which are really amazing. So we have some of the official space sets from like the Lego movie and the old ones from when they were first released, but then we have this whole city landscape of classic space that is completely built separately from any of the official Lego sets. And the most eye-catching detail is the monorails going around the whole building right here, which are really detailed. So right here we have a really large build that consists of several different things. So we do have some Fabuland stuff mixed in here, which is really fun to see because Fabuland is a theme that doesn't really get that much attention. So we have a few Fabuland based buildings inside, but then going over here we have a camp featuring the ducklings from the Donald Duck comic books. And we can see all of their tents set up for the camp. Going over here we have a maze field, which is really nicely built. And we have the really cool thing with all of the Fabuland based buildings is that they are using the Fabuland pieces, for example for the barn right here and for the houses up here on the hill. It's really cool to see all of the Fabuland pieces used to this extent. And also going over here, all of the vehicles like the planes and cars are also built with Fabuland pieces, which is really cool. And just getting an overall view of the whole city is really cool. Which, looking over here, we have some more city buildings like a post office and some resident buildings over here as well. But then we do get a really nice square type of build right here with a lot of different characters interacting with each other. So we have some Disney characters here as well as Fabuland characters. And I just love the mixture of colors and yeah, the overall bright color scheme of this building. But then we have the bank building that Scrooge McDuck has in the Disney shorts and also in the Donald Duck comic books as well. And yeah, it was just so fun to see so much Fabuland because it is a theme that doesn't really get that much of attention because it came out at a time that it wasn't really aimed for that big of a target audience, and it's really fun to see that people have resonated with it later on. Going over here, we do have an amusement park. So we have a big Ferris wheels, which looks to be actually based upon the official Lego set of the Ferris wheel that came out a couple of years ago, but sized up to a much larger scale. But then right next to it, we do have the official roller coaster set. And right in front of us here, we do have some bumper cars, which are powered up, so they are actually turning and twisting around inside, which is really, really cool. So right here we have a Viking Village, and it's a really cool and actually historic model because this is how the Viking villages looked back in the day. And it's really cool to see because this is actually a Viking village in progress of building. So they are actually making the roofs right now, and you can even see some of the Viking shields on the inside of this building right here. And it's not only shields on the inside, you can also see different cloth hanging on the inside, a skeleton animal skull hanging on the wall, and what looks like a fire pit in the center of the building, which is really cool detail. And I really love the fact that they've tried to keep it with as authentic minifigure parts as possible, using some older or newer pieces depending on when they were released. But then we do also have the wall going around this hill as the border for this Viking village if they would get attacked. And we even do see a few minifigures with bows and arrows protecting it for any enemies who might intrude. Going over here, we do have a train set up with one train going around and then some construction vehicles and some silos in the back. And this is usually a part of a bigger community build with several other builders. But now I have this part that really focus on the more loading and offloading of different loads for the trains. So this next model we have right here is called the Dino World, and it's a prehistoric model that features all of these different dinosaurs. Right here we have this water, transparent water that might break if you touch it, and that's something we call here in Sweden an Etzel build, which is quite fun. And I really love what they've managed to capture all of the dinosaurs underneath the water. And the really cool thing with all of the different dinosaurs they have displayed throughout this whole model is that they have signs next to them stating which period of time they lived in and also what the dinosaur name is as well. And it's just impressive to see because they have both managed to build their own dinosaurs using Lego parts. They've managed to build many of the old dinosaur sets from the 90s. And they've also managed to collect a lot of the newer dinosaurs through the Jurassic World and Jurassic Park sets. And something that's really cool is this mountain right here. And it's really cool because the whole mountain side is actually angled to the side and it creates a really cool forced perspective look as well. which is really interesting, and you can see a bit of a volcano at the top. And going down here, we have a few dark green pieces as well, which are really cool because they are actually from a theme called Galador, a buildable characters-based set theme that they made in the early 2000s, late 90s, which is really cool. And yeah, just walking along, we do have some more of the old dinosaur sets as well, and then going into more of the newer dinosaurs that we've gotten from the Jurassic World theme. And I love how they captured all of the different terrains, using different colors like greens, lime greens, and then going into browns and tans. Then we have this rock face in shape of a minifigure, which is super cool. Yeah, and continuing on, we do see a lot more dinosaurs actually flying around and just interacting with each other, which is super cool. And we do even have, for example, a nest right here in front with some eggs hatching, which is super, super cool. Then walking along here, we do have something that looks straight out of Jurassic Park, actually. So first of all, we have a dinosaur skeleton right here, which is super cool. But then we do have the entrance for Dino World, which looks basically like the entrance to Jurassic Park, or the Discovery Center for Jurassic Park, which is super cool. And here is the front of the building, which is super detailed with the gold railings going around. And then we do have the Dino World sign actually written out with actual bone pieces that Lego have produced throughout the years. And even a little play park at the, right next to the entrance as well. And now we're on the other side of the whole model, and we do see the other side of the rock wall here with a watering hole where the dinosaurs can both eat and drink. And yeah, it's just so cool to see so many different dinosaurs. We do even have a Duplo dinosaur, have the Jurassic Park dinosaurs as well. It's impressive to see all of them collected together in this manner, actually. Some more nature scene. We do have the rock wall up here as well. So here we have some micro builds that actually replicate some neighborhoods we have here in Sweden. So this is a neighborhood called Rima Holmen, which is really impressive how they managed to get this side building on this angle and then even finish off the roof in a really nice way with these dark nougat type of, or dark orange pieces actually, which is really detailed. And all of the windows on the outside with the balconies is really cool, and they really managed to capture the neighborhood in this micro scale as well. But not only they have the outside, but they do also have the inside with different cars parked on the inside and stuff like that, which is really, really detailed. But continuing on, we have another neighborhood called Flemingsberg, which in my opinion is like very detailed, and it's almost shot for shot accurate to the actual place, which is really impressive. And I just love how they managed to do this model with as simple of a design at the same time, but also very detailed. Not only do we have the buildings right here, but we do also have the more yard area on the inside as well. So here we have Mars 2050, and this was actually a model that was displayed at the Klossfestivalen 2019 this year, and it was actually built by 12 different builders actually. So this is what's called a community build. So multiple people work together to put this model together, and it's really impressive in its micro We do even have some cool references to like Elon Musk, which is really cool. So this build is actually called student housing. So on this street we have many different student housing in almost every different Lego college, looks like. So it's really cool to see all of these colors in these buildings lined up, and the main effect in my opinion is all of the lights going into each of the builds, and even the changing traffic lights, and even the ghost with red eyes, even a fun detail, because we just had Halloween here in Sweden, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just such an impressive build, having them all lined up and light up at the same time. And also a bubble pool at the top of the roof right there as well, lit up as well, which is really cool. Here we have a really impressive build based upon the Tintin books. So we have the rocket right here, which is really impressive. The size of this is just ginormous, and they really captured the whole idea of the rocket, and also the blue tank we have down here. The really cool thing with this builder is that he has not only captured one thing from the Tintin books, but several different models from the Tintin books. So we have different models based upon his different adventures throughout the book series, which is really cool because they are really popular here in Sweden, and if I remember right, they are really popular in other countries in Europe as well, which is really fun to see. So right here we have another model, and we actually did see some of this at Klossfestivalen 2019, and it's Andy's room from Toy Story movies. So the new parts we can see is, for example, the desk right here where we can see Rex playing the game and trying to defeat Zurg. But we do also see some brick-built characters built from Lego pieces. So we have Slinky, the dog, we have Bo Peep and her three-headed sheep, we have Etch-a-Sketch, and a lot of Andy's toys, which is really well captured in just normal Lego pieces, basically. So Lego hasn't made an official Lego piece for those characters, so the builder right here decided to capture them in just normal Lego bricks. Continuing on, another new piece is the bed, which also have the texture of Buzz Lightyear on the bed line as well, and also some of Andy's toys both underneath the bed and beside the bed, and even his Western toy box as well. Here we have a model that showcases so many different movie scenes, and this is also a community build. So any builder can add to this by building a module that is inspired by a TV show, a comic book, a movie, or anything like that. And as you can see, we have so many different characters stranded throughout this whole model. Some of them are from big Hollywood movies, some of them are from small TV shows that we've had here in Sweden. And yeah, it's really fun to see them all connected together in this really impressive Lego model. So this Hogwarts castle mock was previously shown in our Klossfestivalen video earlier this year, but now it's back at Lego World for some updates, and yeah, it's really impressive. So this takes both inspiration from the movies and also the books. So yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. The next model we have is a Star Wars-based model. It's actually the Battle of Endor, which is really cool because we have these really tall trees covering the most of the model. Then we do have this Endor landing platform right next to the satellite that the main characters are trying to deactivate. But throughout this model we do have a few minifigures scattered around. For example, we have Luke Skywalker getting transported up to Darth Vader. We do have Chewbacca and an AT-ST right there, which is really cool. We do have, of course, the satellites among all of the trees. And something really cool is we do have a speeder bike chase with one of the Ewoks and Scout Troopers, which is really nice. But then also going towards the bunker, it's actually lit up from the inside, so you can see a bit of the light shining through as well, which is super cool. So the next build we have right here is Magical Vacation Paradise, and that is such a fitting title. So we can clearly see that all of these models are very inspired by both the Lego Elf theme and also Lego Friends, with all of the bright colors and figures placed throughout. And it's just so impressive to see all of the foliage all around this model, and even a working waterfall in the mountain right here, which is just breathtaking. And having different functions like the waterfall or the fire pit in the corner there with the tent as well, which is really absolutely beautiful. And yeah, there's just so many eye-catching details, like for example, we have a jacuzzi here or a spa, which is really cool. We have all of these stairs leading up to different places on the mountain. We do have like a bakery at the bottom right here as well. So just a lot of details to look at. And continuing on with the same theme, we have this dragon mountain, which is really cool, using all of the elemental dragons from Lego Elves. You can really see them blending into their different environments. Right here we have a model of a church from the town Karuna, which is really detailed, and one of my favorite aspects of this is the fact that they really capture the color of the actual church using this dark red color, and they really managed to get all of the shapes of the roofing and all of the different angles. And as we can soon see on the side, we do have a picture of how the church in Karuna actually looks compared to the actual Lego model right here. So the next model we have is a GBC, also standing for Great Ball Contraption, which the idea is to travel the balls around with all of these different modules. Most of these modules we've had at the Klossfestival in 2019, and you can click the card above to watch that one. But some of the ones we have here is, for example, this Darth Vader, which is really fun, trying to cycle his way through and power this module. If you want to see this GBC, you can click the card right here. So that was all of the fan creations we had at Lego World 2019 in Stockholm, Sweden. So if you want to see more of my own creations, you can check out my YouTube channel, MBL Designs. But if you'd like to support the Swedish AFOL show in the future so we can travel to different events outside of Stockholm, or just in general support this show, we do have a Patreon, link in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching.